Hello, Lisa Richard here with Loving Energy Recharge, coming in to talk about the energy that we're going to be moving through on March the 29th through to April the 4th. Now, before we dive into what is coming, let us take a moment to reflect on what we have just come out of. We just came out of the energy within our Ajna Center for those who have been following with their human design. And if you are new to human design or you don't have your birth chart, please stop by my website, lovingenergyrecharge.com, to create your free profile. This will help you to really get to know yourself and how the energy that we are in and have come out of really affects you on a deeper personal level. So we've been spending some time up in the Ajna, which is really that third eye awareness. And I want to draw your attention to a moment to your human eyes. We've been given two eyes, right? We have a divine masculine side, a divine feminine side, and we have the ability to rise up to see all perspectives. That is your third eye awareness. You can also see that as the triangle, the mind, body, spirit connection. So we had an opportunity in this last week in the Ajna up in gate number 17, which was known as the Gate of Opinions, to really get an understanding of where are we really narrow within our own views and in our own opinions and not so adaptable to change. And we want to really get to notice this within ourselves because this provides opportunities for deeper reflection to contemplate, well, where did that mindset originate from? Where did my beliefs, my opinions, my perceptions of the world, where did that originally start? And is there an opportunity now as you are gaining wisdom and maturity to look at things in a different light? So the gift that we were offered in this last week has been the gift of farsightedness. The ability to rise up into that third eye and to see other perspectives, other angles, to really keep an open mind and not be so rigid in a certain direction. Now, this is really important because we're now entering, starting on March the 29th, we're entering into the heart center. Now, in the teachings of human design, the heart center represents the ego and power in the form of willpower. Its energy is all related to the community, to the tribe, to the greater, bigger community aspects of that. I'm trying to find the right words to really define this. When you think of things in terms of willpower, that is just that inner knowing that drives you towards something. And it can be a push for resources, for material, for the health and well-being of those around you, and really kind of noticing for yourself, how does that energy apply for you? And this is where your human design chart comes in handy because you're going to want to notice if that little heart center, the tiny little triangle in your human design chart, if it's colored in or if it's not colored in. And it does make a difference. For 35% of the population who are going to have that colored in, you have a lot of energy that sustains your willpower. You have a natural tendency to focus on the community, the tribe, resources, money, and to allocate that in a way that is fair. Now, when it's not self-tendency, there can also be a lot of boasting in there. There can be an attitude of, I am better than in there. So you also want to look at the conditioning of how you were raised, how society teaches us. If there's a tendency to focus on the self, the little I, or are you more willing to expand your awareness now to an understanding that we are in this together. We are shifting direction. We need to look at these resources, these finances, these allocations of distribution of what we all need to be able to thrive within the tribe and community. So there's a lot of energy there that is going to sustain one in moving forward with their ambitions within that energy center. It is correct for you to make a promise if you have that colored in, because you have the willpower to sustain your promise. Other people are going to recognize that you are able to carry out what you say you're going to do. So you're building the loyalty of those around you. Now we're going to flip that for a moment, because if you have that undefined, if it is white in your human design chart, you are not designed to carry the power of will, which means you're not designed to make a promise, because you do not know if you're going to have the energy to sustain that a day from now, a week from now, a month from now. Now, a lot of us grew up in a time where we were taught to pinky swear, make me a promise. So we use that language, and if we were undefined in that heart center and we weren't able to meet the promise, chances are you created a story in your head that you weren't good enough, you let people down, and or you made people mad around you because you didn't do as you said you were going to. So that heart center also carries a lot of self-esteem issues, self-worth issues, the tendency to really want to prove oneself, to fit into the tribe in the community. So you want to become aware of how this center is operating within your own human design to then be able to move forward in a healthy way, to find the language of not making promises if that is white in your chart, but using the language of, I will see, I will get back to you, honoring that you do have an energy that's inconsistent, and that's just who you are. So we're learning to become more in tune with the way our energy operates, with the way our bodies communicate with the world around us, and matching that with the language and the mindset to accommodate what the body has always known to be its truth. Now, this week, we are stepping into gate number 21 in the heart center. What we're going to find here is the energy carrying the shadow tendency of control. Now, I want you to really consider how control plays out in your life. And as always, a little bit of the shadow is a good thing. Too much of this shadow is going to suppress you, and it's going to keep you locked in that mindset and prevent you from growing and evolving. So we want to examine, going into the energy of control, two things. Number one, are you claiming the responsibility to control those things in your life that you're able to control? In other words, are you stepping out of being the victim and willing and able to look yourself in the mirror and apply control in the form of, I am responsible for how I show up. I am responsible for how I behave. I am responsible for following what my inner self knows to be true. So we want to take back control. We want to take back our power from areas of your life where you may have given them away unconsciously. And this ties back to the following week when we were up in the ajna looking at the opinions. Just because somebody says so doesn't make it right for you. And I like to say, and who is that somebody? Who made those rules? What are you following blindly instead of really looking at all perspectives and angles and considering for yourself, is that true for you? And then you also want to be honest with, where are you controlling aspects of your life that are not yours to control? So that could be areas of worrying about somebody else, interfering with their life, advising, doing things for them that they can do by themselves. So control steps in with the fear-based that the world around you is going to fall apart if you don't do something. This is a deep, deep-seated fear. So you really want to examine in your life where control is showing up, what areas make you feel very anxious inside if you were to let go of the responsibility for that, and then coming back up into that third eye awareness to examine why. Where did that come from? And perhaps as a young child, you were made to feel responsible for someone else's emotional behaviors, or keeping the peace within your house, or growing into a organization where now you're handling things that, you know what, they were never in your job description, but somehow it's landed on your plate. And that's happened to a lot of us as systems are getting leaner and leaner, and there's not as much manpower to provide for the work that is there. You're not here to be a slave to the system. You're here to do things that are really meaningful to you, and they're going to add value to the community and to the tribe. So this is a beautiful opportunity to examine the areas of control in your life, to claim back the power of those things that you should be in control of, and to be really honest with yourself of what you're trying to control that is just not yours to control. So we're applying the gift in here of authority. And authority is not external from yourself. And yes, we have bosses, we have leaders, we have organizational bodies that we do have to fall in line with. But that doesn't mean you're not questioning why. And the greatest authority that you're ever going to answer to is yourself. So it's yourself that needs to be at peace with your decisions, your why of choosing to do what it is that you're choosing to do. So in human design, we're taught about an inner authority for each one of the 5 types. And for the majority of individuals, your authority is to wait to respond to life. Now, waiting to respond means that you're taking in this information. You're taking in what is asked of you, and you're feeling it through the body, and you're really connecting with the sacral parts of you just below the belly button, and getting to know what is your yeses, what is your nos, what is your maybes, without expressing that in words. These are sounds that you're going to make. And for a lot of people, it might be the sound of, that feels right to me. Or, I'm not doing that. You may notice in this energy, because it relates to the heart and gate 21, that you're going to feel this in your heart. Your heart might become constricted when you're giving your control and your power away to something that does not resonate with you, or it may open when you're claiming back responsibility to do everything for yourself that you know is truly yours to manage. And also allowing that flexibility of, you know what, we can't control the world around us. The world is wild and organic, and just like the weather and Mother Earth itself, we are here to be fluid and adaptable and take things a moment at a time. So this also brings us back into the awareness that the only truth is the present moment. So notice if you're trying to control your future based on the past, or if you're always so stuck up in your mind that you're not present into what is in front of you and what is really the truth of causing your sensations, your tendencies to feel scattered, and what is right underneath your nose for you to really look at. So we want to embrace our inner authority, and that can be found on your human design chart and just by connecting to your body. Your body is here to lead the way. The mind is not here to be the leader. It's here to observe life, to examine things from many, many different perspectives. But we've conditioned to have a narrow mindset. So we want to do what is known as silo busting. We want to get out of our tendencies to imprison ourselves, to trap ourselves, to stay in certain patterns, to stay in certain routines, to stay in these comfort zones, and to know that we're safe to venture into the unknown. We're safe to trust that our bodies, our higher wisdom, will guide the way. So as we step into this gate of control over the next couple of days, really pay attention to your heart. Get to know your human design so you're aware of how that operates for you. And there's a free introduction to human design course through the More Than Existing Academy of Higher Consciousness. I will put the link down below if you are watching this on YouTube. And really spend some time getting to know yourself. When we come out of this gate of control, we're going to stay in the heart center for another week. We're going to be moving into gate number 51, which is shock. And then you're going to find yourself for 3 weeks in your sacral center. This is your life force energy. So we really need to get clear on tribe, community, power, healthy balances of power, and then leaning into your life force, trusting your body's responses, getting a clear understanding of who's driving the show. Is your fear, your shadow, your ancestral karma driving your future self? Or are you ready to stand up, claim back your power, cut the cords of those patterns and beliefs and things that are not serving your highest good, call in your divine self, and learn to be okay with the unknown aspects? We are entering into a brand new time. This is also going into Easter weekend. We can look at that Friday as, are you here to continue crucifying yourself as they did in the biblical stories? Or are you ready to know that we are now in the time of the resurrection? So to bring in some of those religious teachings, and not to promote any certain religion, but if we look at the mysticism behind religion itself, here's a question for you. Do you still believe the man is on the cross, suffering and being crucified? Or have you gone ahead into that story that talked about the resurrection, the light, and seen a higher truth? The world has been feeding us this suffering story, this punishment story for a really long time. But are we not past that? Have we just not changed our perspective to see that we are here to find the balance of the cross, which means our own inner harmony within ourselves, and trust in our own ability to make the choices and decisions that are right for you? So I'm sending you all much, much love. Happy Easter weekend, to celebrate it in whatever way feels good for you, to honor your own belief systems, your own cultures. We live in such a beautiful, diversified world, just like Mother Nature is diversified. Don't conquer and divide yourself. Celebrate your authenticity and give other people the space to celebrate their own. Sending you all so much love. Take care.